That's a good line. That's a really good line. Now our front's gonna get trapped. That didn't work out. Now we're completely on our passenger side. Oh, come on. Yeah, yeah. Get it, get it, get it. No. All right, welcome back, guys. This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We are jumping right into today's video. It is wet and cold out here on the rocks, which means that there's very low traction. And we're gonna go try some new stuff. Go do some trail breaking out here in Sand Hollow, specifically near Nasty Half. I was out here for a camp and crawl event that we were all playing on recently, and I didn't get to spend as much time out on these obstacles as the other people did. I specifically saw this crack posted up by multiple people on Instagram, so I wanted to come out and try it. I was able to come out and find it, and that's what we're starting off today's video with. But we're gonna do a couple experiments today, right? So we're gonna look at a specific product, which is SL3D RC Squid'nserts, and these are made specifically for my West Desert Wheeler cut and shut BFG crawler tires. 5.25 tall, standard 1.9 width on a 2.2 wheel. Yeah, I was able to one-shot that today. Feeling good. It was a little ugly. Wasn't quite as pretty as it may have. I might have been able to do that a little bit better, but for the first time trying, I'm not mad about it. And then the other part of this video, along with those Squid'nserts, is actually going to be, this is the wet run of this, and I don't anticipate being able to make all these obstacles, so there should be a subsequent follow-up dry run, hopefully in the next few months. So, you know, whenever the rocks dry out again, I need to remind myself to come and run this trench. But I really liked the ending of this crack, because not only does it a crack that climbs up, but you end up on this small ledge on the driver's side, as we can see here, and then it actually turns into a drop. So you go all the way up and then actually down a small drop. So I thought that was a cool portion of that climb. As you can see, really just creeping along. Got a Hobbywing fusion motor in this system, in a setup, and a Element Stealth transmission into Capra portals, giving me lots of gear reduction so I can really creep this car along when I want to. One-shotted, dropped out nice and smooth. Kind of nailed it, if you ask me. Pretty happy about that one. All right, I have elected that this is going to be the starting point for this trench. Anything lower than this just looks like super impossible, but we are very close to the start of this actual crack from like the bottom. So here we go. This car is running quite a bit of overdrive, so we're gonna see our tires load up with sand pretty quick because they run at different speeds. So the front tires pull on the car and fill up with sand, and the rear tires drag and fill up with sand. So neither one of them is doing us any favors here for filling up with sand, at least, but the overdrive is a great upgrade. I do recommend it for most people. Trying to hunt for some traction. It is cold and wet in this little bowl. Not much sunlight gets down in here. So I'm just trying to put as much pressure as I can on our tires, trying to get them to grab and pull, but unfortunately they're slipping, and anything more, the car's gonna wanna tip over. But let's talk about those Squid'nserts on this crack. I'm able to lay the car and put the weight of the car on the passenger side tires, and the 3D printed design of these, they are a 3D printed tire insert, and with that design that they have, it is excellent, and I mean excellent, for anti-side roll. What do I want to call that? The sidewall doesn't fold under pressure, at least under sideways pressure. But if you put straight on pressure into the tread, it will conform and help you get traction. So that's the cool part, right? So they're soft in one direction only, which is nice. We gotta bump this ledge. Yeah, just so slick, so cold. Oh dear, settle down. Unfortunately, I just don't think we're going to be able to stick to this face of this rock. I think we might be able to in the dry, so that's my prediction there. I think this is a possible obstacle in the right conditions. Today just may not be the right conditions. And back to the bottom. So we're going to take hand of God up to the top of this ledge, and then you know, keep working our way down, see if we can get through the rest of those obstacles. No surprise, very, very low on traction today. I'll try and not say that 48,000 more times, so I'll try and shut up about it, but just know that's why. So right here, I think I timed where I'm coming across wrong. Let's even just get the rear away from the wall and let the front come up the wall. And now I can turn all four into it. I think we're gonna get balanced up over this pocket in that driver's side wall. You may notice that we're gonna stay leaned on the passenger side probably for the majority of these pinches and cracks. That's because this entire crack is kind of set up that way. It's more vertical on the driver's side, and I wanna keep my driver's side high on the vertical wall. The steering servo is working really hard right here. This is where we want the overdrive to help pull that front end up and over. Super cool right there. I like that a lot. Using Shift RC GT5 servo in the front with 1,025 ounce-inches of torque. This one is 3S direct power, and that's how I've got it. No, I'm sorry. The GT3 is BEC powered, and I've got it at 7.4 volts, so it's actually not at the full potential yet. And then the rear is a Shift RC X2, which is 3S direct power, and that one I am running direct 3S, so it is at its full power. Okay, I got to get this rear to climb without upsetting the entire rest of the car, which it's already done. And here's some real buggies out here in Nasty Half having a good time. Oh, come on, pull up front end, pull up, pull up. Ah, as it came up, my rear fell off. Okay, we're just gonna slip that rear through if possible. Oh yeah, that's much better. Why didn't I just do that? A little too much angle on there, actually. Okay, maybe it's not way better. Getting our front end trapped. Very technical obstacle. I like it. Now that rear left being so pinched down on the bottom like that is going to try and roll us over on our side. So we've got to work it back out. Yeah, we're getting ourselves all sorts of buried and bound up in here, right? That's it. That's good progress. Sometimes you got to force your car into the bind to just mandatory traction, right? So let's keep our passenger front on the inside of that wall, and then let's swing the rear through. Okay, turn into it. Come on, car. This is technical. I like this a lot, guys. This is fun. We got a long way to go. This is gonna be a long video. Look at that tire conform. Push rear, push, push, push. All right, there we go. Now our front tire's in trouble because it's in an overhang. But we can back up at this point and keep the rear on that wall, so we're gonna be all right. Now the question is, can I get my front through the inside of this, or do I want to try and land it on top of it? I think we're just gonna sneak down the bottom side and then turn up right there. Okay, go past it and then possibly back up onto it. I feel like I've already used that trick like 4 or 5 times on this clip. That worked out really well. And so now I can try and use the weight transfer of the car to help that left rear climb. That didn't work out. Now we're completely on our passenger side. Wow, this is ugly. I love this. Even with an all metal car, still got to be careful binding it. Metal chassis, metal axles, metal drive shafts. I think there are some plastic gears in my transmission. That's about the weak point of this. But most of the time, the transmission is fine and the motor will give up trying to push. So the motor is what gives up first. Finally made it through. Getting the fronts up planted, staying balanced. That is already, yeah, that's an awesome obstacle. I'm liking this trench a lot. Hopefully it's got a lot more stuff to throw at me like that. Testing the capabilities of the old Chupa Capra out here. So these inserts were made specifically for my tires, and that's because Neil was kind enough to help develop them specific to my tire. I sent him a sample and he took all his measurements and made a few sets. Now there is some important things to know on the SL3D inserts, and that is what wheel width you choose will affect what insert you need to order. So he has developed different inserts depending if you're running some narrow wheels like the Shift RC 2.2s. Those are narrow, a couple of their options are. And then he also has standard width that I'm using here on my Spec RC 2.2s. These are 1.25 inches wide, which would be more like a 30 millimeter wide wheel. So if you have narrow 2.2s, you need to know that you need to order narrow inserts for it. Okay, this is just too vertical here. The car can't handle that angle. Even if it was dry, wouldn't be able to handle that angle. Trying to get the high line at least, you know what I mean? So I need to square up more to the wall. I was afraid that was gonna happen. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if I can get, oh, that didn't work. Let's see if I can get the rears pinched in that wall enough that I can dip the front driver off and see if it'll stick. There we go. Now our tires have no traction, super cool. Now I did go out the other day and my buddy Connor from Rock Pirates RC just recently built his Chupa Capra, and when we were running out here in Sand Hollow in these conditions, he had cut and shuts on his car and I was just running pit bulls for the day for fun. I like to switch my wheels and tires around a lot. And no joke, these G8 crawlers would absolutely go up more stuff than those pit bull Braven tires that I had. And the Bravens are well scrubbed in. They've got a lot of wheeling time on them. And in my 2.2 tire test shootout, they were my preferred choice. So I didn't feel like I was at a disadvantage at the beginning of the day. But after crawling a bunch of times, going up multiple obstacles where I just couldn't make it and Connor could, I'm pretty confident in saying these tires are better than those pit bulls. But that's like with real evidence there. That's not just me saying it because I make these tires. Yeah, I was hoping I could kind of do this and see if the car would get any forward progress, and it's just not happening. Not enough push. Yep, so. Got to take the bypass on this one too, guys. So let's magically pretend like we made it to there. Doing some trail braking in cold, wet weather. Nothing better. I will say I do prefer this to dying from heat exhaustion in the summertime, so I'll take the nice weather while I can. Spring and fall are ideal, but I'd probably say I prefer winter over summer. The downside is that summer has longer days, right? So it's a trade-off. This is cool. I'm liking this. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I recently got a UC Fab JHF licensed moon buggy chassis, and I am very, very excited about it. I've been wanting one of those since before I got the Chupa Capra. A lot of people have been asking if I'm going to get rid of the Chupa Capra, and the truth is I like this car too much. So I'm going to try and do my best to hang on to it and do a full new build on the UC Fab car. Now I've got some business stuff that I'm working on currently where I need to use those funds for trying to, you know, pay my bills. So I'm going to do that, and then later on we're going to get the UC Fab build going. I'm going to be doing a different axle set on the UC Fab. I want it to be a different car than the Trooper Capra. As much as I like this thing, if I have two of the same car, I stop driving one of them, and it'll probably be this one because the UC Fab is just newer and more exciting. That's kind of how my brain works, unfortunately. So while our friends were in Sand Hollow during the takeover, Connor was on this obstacle and had tried climbing through it in his Trooper Capra. He told me that it was not possible at the time of him trying it. I don't know what's going to happen here. I got a pretty good feeling it's not going to work, but it does look like it could be a doable obstacle. Doesn't look impossible to me, at least in ideal conditions. Again, back to that. But looking forward to seeing the difference on this, if there is one, in the dry. So we'll look forward to that in the future video. Need my car to articulate a little more here. Try not to drive my rear too far into the driver wall. I need my front end to grab and rotate up in here. So definitely a fun one. I definitely see a line. It's just not happening right now. Ooh, maybe that was it. Just magically grabbed. Now it's really vertical. I don't know. I had to back out of it. I was gonna roll. So there's something gonna happen there. I can feel it. So this is where that crack would set you up if you were to make it. So let's cruise down into the next obstacle, which I did make the other day. Or maybe I didn't make this one, I made the next one, but I think it was due to the pit bulls. It's an ugly one. These kind of obstacles can really burn a lot of time. And this is going to be one of those tricky ones where you got to time your turn. Already getting in trouble. I'm going to keep that rear flat faced against that wall actually, and let the front end climb before I really start to turn. Put a little more pressure on that rear, and then I'm going to start turning here and turn the rear into the wall as well. Give me a little extra room on the chassis. And what I really need to happen there is just my front end to grab and pull the entire car up. Come on, car. So again, foot wedge. Sad. It's a cool obstacle. All I really wanted to do is be able to wrap the front tire right on the inside of this, and then turn your rears back into it, and like just a balance between those two things. Maybe move it along the wall. Yep, that's what it would have taken. Correction on your rear steer when possible. Yeah, it just does not want this today. The front won't hold. But I was able to get through here the other day. Now I was on a narrower wheel and tire setup. Sometimes the small differences like that make a big difference. Ooh, that was nice. That balanced up nice. Give me a good pinch. And then the key here is this driver front. You want to get on the inside of this rock face, and that will not let it go out of that pinch. It will hold on, and it'll just pull the whole car up. And that was just about perfect. That was cool. Here we are coming out the top of that one. Sometimes I got to remind myself I need to stop recording and save the video clip before my GoPro dies. Now, front's dropping in a hole. Backing up in cracks is kind kind of counterintuitive. You think you need to turn the opposite direction of what you really should. So yeah, let's bring our driver rear high. It's going to help hold the front end up, because that front driver just dropped through a hole. But because I turned the rear like that, it kept the suspension articulated and it carried the front through. Now the front passenger slipped in a hole. Now it's tricky because the tie rod's in the rocks. But I can't go too far with the rear. Now our tire's on the rocks. Trying to get my rears set up to come through. Man, that's not easy from this angle. That's it. There we go. Squid'nserts saving me there. Now, let's drag that passenger rear through. The link is going to hit the rock. Square it towards the face of the rock. And just let that tire rotate and pull itself up. Well, now we're in a good pickle here. Come on. That's it. See? Told you, it's just about the view. Now don't be fooled thinking that SL3D only makes cut and shut inserts for me. They make a variety of inserts, and he's actually working on a big one right now, which I'm really excited about. And he's sending me a set of prototypes for the SCX6. So hopefully I'll have good news on those soon and have a review out for you guys talking about those inserts, which the SCX6 really needs something good. So really excited that SL3D will have something. And their inserts are priced competitively, very fairly compared to dual stage foams and whatnot, as well as their competitors for 3D inserts. So they're putting themselves at a good spot in the market. And certainly not losing any performance doing so. If they didn't work well, I would not run them in my car. You can say that about any part on this thing. If it doesn't work well, I would not put it on it. All right, this one, with my experience level, definite no right now, but even if it were dry, you might be able to get to that upper pocket, but getting up that top face, it's going to be so steep that I don't think the car would hold the angles. You know, maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. But it's still got to go up 3 more inches before it would make it over the top. So I'm thinking more like MOA, but not this guy. This is where this trench gets turned to 11. It is super awesome in here. It's going to be super technical. This particular spot doesn't get much sunlight. So, repeat myself for the 48,000th time. I'm going to dip that rear way over there to try and get it up on the wall. Oh, it's so close. Hopefully our overdrive holds us. And those rears are actually going to pull us through. Give us the push we're looking for. That front tire just locking us on the rock until it doesn't. There it goes. Come on. Worked out. Very cool. Okay, we're about to fall in a hole though. That rear's going to come off. At least I can call it, you know. It's always good to anticipate it. Now we're in trouble. So we're just bellied up and side hilled. Holy crap. I think it was wedged in there. I barely got through that the first time. I'm actually kind of impressed I did. So we'll see if we can make that happen again. Oh, trying to get that front to hold. And then turn down on it, bring the rear back. Now let's try and drive the rear further up. Hold it there, hold it there. Door panel's gonna save us. It's going into a hole. I like where the rear is. The front just has to move over more driver. Is it gonna land it this time? Oh, so close. Maybe one more of those little repositions. This is where dig would be super helpful. Ah, no, we fell in again. I definitely think that combo is possible. All right, moving on. This video is going to be long enough without me trying to master that little spot. Now we're going to get ledged up in a crack at the bottom. That's never an easy combo. So we've already got our driver rear up, so we're going to try and bring that passenger rear in as far as we can, and then just lean the sidewall of the tire into it. No, it might be a little too much vertical there. Usually you can bring that in and just kind of lean on it and it'll pull it up, but apparently that ledge isn't so bad and it's going to let us go up. Okay, it's going to get ugly and very much going to try and bind us up right here. There's going to be a hole in a couple walls. The walls are very steep. The car is not wide enough. Hey, we're doing all right so far. Until I said that. Oh no, oh no. That's where I can back up right there. Make the steering correction before we drive forward. Trying to stay balanced and fight the holes. That's a good line. That's a really good line. Now our front's going to get trapped in that overhang. Bring the rears through. I'm trying to turn my rear. It's got nowhere to turn. Yeah, thank you, Shift GT3. Uh-oh. Rear fell all the way to the bottom when it popped through. Now the X2's got to save us. We're figuring it out. We're doing okay. I think it's looking good. Uh-oh. Rear's in trouble. There we go. Just sidewall it. Just sidewall it. Wiggling the fronts through. Man, that was ugly. That was so cool. That was a solid challenge right there. You guys will have to let me know if you liked that one. I sure did. Hey, shout out to anybody still watching, because I already know this is going to be a long video and I'm just out here recording at this moment in time. Uh-oh. No tumbleweeds allowed. This looks really, really bad. Don't think I'm going much further than this guy. Trying to use that rear steer to help me reach higher, but it's also putting me on an off camber, vertical. No, not making it through there this time. Even if you could make it through there, man, it's still a big climb after the bottom. That would be really interesting to see if this is possible ever. I can see there's rock stacked in here. I'm thinking somebody tried it. And rock stacking may be the only option. Yeah, I set my car up there and I couldn't get any forward progress. That's a gnarly one. Super cool though. And then we're gonna drop out in like vertical walls on the crack. So I recently got a new truck. I sold my Chevy, which you guys had seen in the backgrounds of many of the videos. And my new truck helps get me more access to terrain like this. So that's kind of the main goal in buying it. And I'm pretty damn excited about it. So you guys can expect more new, fresh terrain on the channel, because now I finally had access to it with the new truck. All right. This is where SL3D inserts are a benefit. Let's try and get this thing just 2 tires through the mud. because that sand's softer than it looks. It only looks like 3 inches deep, but once you hit the ground in there, you're gonna be sinking 5 or 6. And then bring that front end across, help hold that rear tire out of the water. SL3D inserts are 3D printed, they are not foam. So if you guys run in water at all, or a lot, they will be a benefit for you out on the trail. Try not to dip my X2 in there. Not that I'm that worried about it. I'm pretty sure shift servos are waterproof, but not necessary. If I can avoid it, I will definitely try. At least my tires are clean, right? So I'm finally on the tread of the tire, not sand. I'm just trying to find the pressure. It's steep. I don't want to flip this car over backwards. I know the full-size off-road channel Wrecked Gear recently put up a video where they're wheeling and they have to go through water bowls like this, and that looks crazy in real cars, where you can legitimately flip over and land upside down in water, belted into a cage. So that does not sound fun. Oh, come on. Yeah, yeah. Get it, get it, get it. Oh, man, that's gnarly. It's possible though. Sick, super sick. I need to grab a picture of that for my Instagram. Okay, we're gonna try and finish this clip before the GoPro dies. You can see the tire leaking water as we go. Typically your foams will retain water and water will break them down, meaning that they don't perform the same as when they're new. But these 3D printed inserts are waterproof. They don't care. It's all about the shape of the print. It's not about if the material gets wet, which is super cool. So, big benefit of SL3D inserts. And another really cool part about it is that they're tunable, right? So you can talk to Neil if you got a kind of a weird case you're dealing with, maybe a super heavy rig, or maybe a very lightweight rig, or just a weird size you're after. Talk with Neil, send him a sample, and he can get you one made. But he's also got a lot of offerings for a lot of the common sizes and tires already available. Now this one I had questions on. I don't think it's possible unless I can just get a tire hooked in that crack, even on the dry. Yeah. The angle just might be too much. And I'm just making a muddy, soupy mess at this point. All right, so let's pretend that I had made that crack in the climb. Just getting that front sidewall hooked on the inside, and it's actually gonna open up pretty quickly and drop the front end back in there. So that's what that obstacle would be like to exit. Still squeezing water out of these tires. And there we go. Now we're pretty dang steep nose down in here. Now I would probably have to do some bushes removal to continue through here without too much trouble. Maybe I can squeeze through. I had to pull some tumbleweeds out of here before I started filming. Nice, that actually went pretty smooth. Until I say that it does. There we go. But this video is already long enough. I just went back to the truck, got a fresh GoPro battery, got a fresh battery for the car to realize that I had about 5 feet left of the main crack. So, oh, she's gonna go up this. Nice. Nice. Transfer, transfer. There it is. So I would have to somehow get up over this, which is not gonna be easy. That front end won't stay locked down in there. There she goes. There she goes. No, not happening. Yep, boulder's gonna stop us in our place. So, this crack is no joke and has stopped us on multiple obstacles on the way, including the bypasses. So there are some spots that just seem to be impassable, and I certainly like it. Lots of fun challenges. Trooper Capra out here kicking ass. Hope you guys enjoyed that content. This car freaking slays, and I hope that my UC Fab can keep up at minimum. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the West Desert Wheeler content, pick up a WDW shirt to help support me. You can also buy RC car parts through the affiliate links. It's another great way to help support me. Whatever I link to the product, as long as you start your shopping spree, wherever you start your shopping spree from that specific product, you can buy whatever you want through the affiliate link, and it still helps kick back a little bit towards me, and it helps me out. So thank you guys so much. It's been 2 awesome years here on West Desert Wheeler. Looking forward to the next one where, we make some big things happen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. You're the best. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.